Phil Jackson took us to 4 finals out of 5 years.
What do you? Go ahead.
In the next 5 years, if a coach takes a team to the finals, 4 out of 5 years, I'll kiss his feet on Fear Factor with cheese on it. I will. It'll never be done again.
Never say never, Shaq. That was back in 2004, fresh off a finals appearance, right? His 4th in 5 years. That apparently never could be done again, except, you know, Steve Kerr did it, and also Eric Spoelstra did it. Steve Kerr tweeting saying he was going to pretend David West didn't send him that clip because he had no interest in cheese on his feet and Shaq licking them.
Yeah. The funny thing is that Fear Factor was a big deal back then. Then it went away, and now it's back, just like everything else, just like Toy Story.
The cheese part.
Toe cheese.
Okay, it's just Shaq. So sometimes there are no explanations.
Okay.
By the way, I think Steve is way happier than Shaq is.
Can we select the cheese that gets put on?
Velveeta is what Shaq said on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
It has to be Velveeta.
Then it's not so bad.
I don't know if that's contractually obligated.
Everybody who had this show on has now turned it off. Missed contact. Giannis got a chance to hit the cages with the Bronx Bombers, and I wouldn't say baseball's his sport.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, they're all laughing at him, but come on a basketball court, baseball guys.
Well,
Number 2, the song that's playing actually on the video is my guy Omen, my good buddy who's on the Dreamville album. It's #1 in the country. So shout out to Dreamville, shout out to Omen, even though we can't play it on TV.
But they obviously went to the tee after pitching to him didn't work, right? So that was the worst video, I'm sure.
We'll see. I bet some of those guys can play basketball, but just not at that. Just not at that level. I'm saying I did see him connect on one of these. Make fine wine. So this aging filter has been making the rounds on social media. Kevin Lund posted this with the caption, Kevin Popovich, which I do think is pretty good. Wayne Wade posted his.
He would be wearing that kind of outfit.
Right?
It was like Jeffrey.
And then DeMar DeRozan posted a couple videos as well.
That's my man, Danny Trejo. That's
look very Danny Trejo. Wow. All right, so who do you think will age the best out of the NBA stars?
I mean, Wade with that white suit, all-time classic.
Right?
Just keep it.
Pretty amazing.
Also, this is just a way for the Russians to perfect their deepfake technology, so please do not use this app.
Yeah, but it's fun. Doubters. Dion Waiters posted this body transformation on IG, looking slim. Brian, we know this is what the Miami Heat do. Do you think this will be a comeback season for Dion?
Well, it's not just his condition, it's also the way he plays. And that's the key. Dion is confidence runs high with Dion. So I don't know if more confidence is what Dion needs. I think it's great that he's in great shape, though, because he had so many injuries after signing.
The ankles really and being the best version of himself. So I'm sure the Miami Heat look at this and get excited because that means he's going to pass all the body fat percent.
It means that they want to trade him, is what it means.
So the Miami Heat, obviously, they do these before and afters. They actually give the players iPads so they can see their before and afters, and the guys get really into it. It's good incentive. I do want to make the point, though, also, on that social media post, he talked a lot. It was a long paragraph he posted. He talked a lot about how people will come at you on social media, especially when he looked the way he looked in the left side of the frame picture. And he said, I just want to tell everyone out there, if you're having that happen to you, look at what happens.
He also talked about his background, and I will say, the situation in his childhood is a terrible story. He is a success story, whether he scores another basket in the NBA.
He wrote a story on the Players Tribune about that, which I would encourage everyone to read. If they haven't, it's really worth it.
You got deep real quick here.
There you go. Boom. I'll get you back, Amin.
Okay.
The pump is primed for a great season.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, Rockets owner Tilman Fertitta, both receiving fines yesterday. People in San Antonio better watch out. They're going around Texas. Mark Stein, reporting Fertitta, received a $25,000 fine for mentioning Russell Westbrook before the trade was officially completed. And Tim McMahon reports that Cuban was fined $50,000 for leaking Board of Governors meeting information involving the pending coaches challenge vote. Cuban told Tim, this is seriously one of the great all-time quotes of this year, and there's been a lot. Quote, I appreciate the irony of your reporting on a fine that someone should but won't get fined for leaking to you. That is a tremendous quote.
Cuban's been kind of on the low, making stuff like this over the last couple of years. He's kind of, been focusing on Shark Tank. But this is back to peak Mark Cuban.
There you go. What do you make anything of these fines when you're talking about this level of owner? Does 50, 25 grand
Well, forget
mean
about
anything?
we can go about that all day. I am never going to criticize an owner for telling the truth. That's
Right.
number one. And I do think it's funny that like in the Fertitta instance, a trade that everybody knew about,
Right.
him making a complimentary talk about his new player, gets fined, and the particularly crazy tampering, which actually cost teams something, players, $100 million players in certain cases, was just let go. I find the irony in that, not just what Cuban said.
It's almost like we shouldn't have tampering rules in the NBA. I mean, I don't know. I've never thought that before, except every day.
When they told me this was a topic, I said, so we're just going to be quiet while Rachel talks, right? Because this is one of your soapboxes right here.
I have many.
But this is one of the big ones. But the thing the Cuban thing is whatever. The Fertitta, the comment that he actually got fined for was more revelatory than the actual fine. Because what he said was something along the lines of, watch Oklahoma City, and Russell Westbrook is so athletic. And what it spoke to me was a level of unsophistication of ownership, right? This is a guy, first of all, spoke before the deal was done, which no, you're not supposed to do that. But also, his observation about Russell Westbrook was just so bare bones, basic, that I'm saying to myself, oh, of course they made this deal, which I don't think is a good deal for them. Because you're dealing with an owner who probably sees shiny new toy, and that looks fun. He dunked it, ooh. And no understanding of fit or chemistry or any of the other things that go into building a successful team. And if I'm a Houston Rockets fan, everything in the Tilman Fertitta era that has his imprint on it makes me scared. Makes me scared of where this franchise is going. There's a story that Iguodala is one of the suitors,
right?
But they don't want to go into tax.
Hold on a minute. I don't think Tilman Fertitta was pushing this deal. Overall, what you're saying, I'm with you. This was a James Harden deal that Tilman Fertitta accommodated him on.
Yeah, well,
and I don't think you should take too much out of one quote. Your other criticisms are fair.
I know James was on the phone working this thing hard, but I'm just saying that the ownership does not present itself as extremely sophisticated.
Well, it's an interesting, I mean, look, that dynamic is interesting in and of itself, certainly as we've gone through this summer. On the one hand, there were guys who sat on this set who were critical of everyone from the owner to the coach to the GM, catering to James Harden to a level that it affected the play on the court. And clearly, James Harden want Russ, and ownership okay, we'll go out and get Russ. However, can you be critical of ownership, management, coaches catering to a player to that level when we see players saying, if I don't like it, I'm just going to get up and leave, and I don't care if I'm under contract? So it's complicated.
I think it's a balance. It's a dance between catering and also knowing what's best for the franchise. And I don't know if Houston's dancing that dance very well right now.
Do you know who else is on my soapbox about tampering? Adam Silver says we should not have rules we cannot enforce. Clearly something has to be changed. There
Name
you
drop.
go. We got to take a quick break. It was a press conference available to all. When we come back, Kevin Pelton's going to join us, and you know what that means. Report cards are coming. Stick around to see who's
y'all are going to be mad about
head of the class next on The Jump.
I saw some of those grades.
MLS Summer Soccer is on. LA Galaxy versus LAFC. Who will claim the city? It's time for Our Soccer. Friday on ESPN.
Built under the lights to electrify the city. Built to bring the thunder with